On this edition of Game Changers, we sat down with Francine Munyax, the CEO of Munyax Eco, to trace the company's entrepreneurial journey, its real-world impact, and the bold vision driving it forward one solar panel at a time.
Thank you so much for making time to speak with CNBC Africa as we explore the energy landscape and you being a game changer towards this industry of energy in Africa. But when we narrow that down to Rwanda, I'm happy to sit with you and bring this conversation to life. And so I want to begin this with your inspiration, the vision behind this. I want to pick your insights from your school of thought.
I was born in Belgium, grew up in Belgium, Rwanda, and DRC. And progressively, my family economic situation became difficult, and we ran away because of challenges. We ran away also from Rwanda to DRC. And that's where I really faced the challenge of not having access to electricity, not having access to water. And this means a lot for me. You know, when you are born in Belgium and you have everything, and suddenly you cannot switch on the light during the night, you cannot school, because I was a child during the night, you don't have a fridge. For cooking also it's a challenge, even if it is not me who is cooking, because I was a child. Everything was a challenge because of lack of electricity. So this was really the first shock of what it is to learn what is it to not to have electricity. And then life passed, and of course as children we adapt. And later on I studied in Europe, and then I started to work, and when I was working I had an international position. I was working for the International Committee of the Red Cross, traveling all over the places and seeing also the same situation of people not having access to electricity. I was lucky, but the others didn't have. And I was coming also in Rwanda on holidays, and also I could see that the same challenge, Africa challenge of not having access to electricity. So slowly, it came to my mind that despite that I love my job, traveling and doing a lot of things in my job, I said, oh, maybe I can do something, I can make a business and at the same time having an impact. Because for me it was very important, the side of impact. And why clean energy? Because we're in solar energy. Solar energy is clean energy. Because also I had a heart on ecology. So I was really very sensitive to already more than 10 years ago to climate change, to this challenge of pollution and so on. So that's how I decided to come back to Rwanda. I made it very simple. There is a lot of sun, there is no energy, let's see how we can put that together. And of course, it's not so simple. It's much more complicated, but definitely if you have the motivation, if you love what you are doing, you can move the world.
Let's look how the company, the setup which you govern comes into the picture before we go into it materializing in what it is right now. Just a brief background of how the company, from your standpoint.
We started with a solar system like solar water heater, solar photovoltaic system for electricity. So there is energy for hot water and energy for electricity. And when I started, I was, a multiple task person. And another point very important that I noticed when I started, I noticed that, and we all know that in energy there is not so much women. So I put really I put in place a way how to promote women in this sector. Another point also, youth. There is not so much skills in solar energy, so I put also in place a way to promote youth. How to promote youth and women. It's positive discrimination for women to see how we can really hire them and train them. And youth also, it's to put in place a system of internship, apprenticeship, so they can work with me, if there is with us as Munyax Eco, the company is called Munyax Eco, or they can also find a job. So it's a kind of win-win. They learn with us, they find a job with us or with someone else, or maybe they install their own company. So progressively we evaluated. Challenge, of course, with COVID. Like everyone, we were a little bit knocked out with COVID, and then we survived from COVID, and we developed our activities, progressively extending in Rwanda. We have an office now in Musanze, Kigali and Musanze, and we have, Musanze is the north of the country, and we have another office also in Burundi. So the idea is to extend not only in neighboring country, but really to extend in Africa. Why? The needs are so huge, you can't imagine. We still have in Africa 600 million people who don't have access to energy, and more who don't have access to hot water and so on. So it's really, really, there is a big market, there is a lot of needs, and we can make the change. We're a game changer, definitely.
Interesting on those points when you speak about clean energy, your journey from Belgium to Rwanda, settling in, trying to make all ends meet through your expertise here. But let's see how this materializes, how you bring this concept from the theory it was in your head to the on-ground market here in Rwanda. Of course, admitting that the sun is there, but the clean energy is not there, like you stated in there. I'd love to understand, how do you then transform this concept that you're speaking about to a functioning company that is creating change within Rwanda as a country, but also within the region, scaling to Africa as a continent? And also there, I would love to understand what are the first things or milestones that validated you to say, I think we're a game changer.
So when I came, I saw that there was need for electrification, and there was need also for hot water. And I was lucky at the beginning when I came, there was a specific program which was set up by REG, the National Electricity Company, REG, which was called EWASA when I came. And they put in place a system of grant and subsidies, a grant and loan at zero rate for end user customers. So the grant was not for us, but for the end user. But the good side is that since solar water heaters was more expensive than an electrical boiler, it really attracted the attention of people. And people started, we did a lot of sensitization, and people started to understand the advantage of having a solar water heater in terms of cost, because at the long term, you have less electricity cost, so you save money. And also you save the planet because it's energy. So we are saving money with solar water heater. And we are saving energy, we are saving the planet. So we started with that. And on the same time, we were doing installation of solar photovoltaic system for electricity. So it's solar system which produce electricity. And this solar system for electricity were more oriented for rural areas, schools, health facility, and so on. And later on, there was a program also from still the National Electricity Company, REG, in collaboration with BRD, the Rwandan Development Board, and then put in place also a special program to give grants to end user customers for also access to electricity in rural areas. So we were really lucky that there was a kind of opportunity because we started, and then after that we realized that the government also had some specific program where we could really partner. So we have been partnering with National Electricity and Rwandan Bank of Development. Yeah, and of course this, because of the need of the market, that's why also the government entered that. But of course there is also dealing with private people, with private companies, so we have different kind of customers. And we realized that there was more and more need, and that's how we grow up and we increase our intervention. And now we can see also more and more need on solar for electricity. We are still doing solar for water, for heating the water, but we are doing more and more solar for electricity, which is the case where we are now. For example, we did that at UNDP office where we are now. We put a solar system for their offices, and we put also, there was a specific program where we developed solar system for districts and for health facilities. So we really develop all of these in town and rural areas. We do both. Yeah.
Clean energy is a global challenge
Yeah.
that the continent is facing, not back here home at Rwanda, but want to draw your insights from the local market itself here. And I would love to draw your insights on how the local market reacts different, and what is the Rwandan context teaching you towards this challenge.
We are bringing some solution which can really help in these challenges that the country is facing. So we are making tests in Rwanda, and we say, okay, after that we can extend to Burundi or to other places in Africa. And because it's small, because it's very regulated, it's easier to check what we want to do, to check our new innovation and new ideas, and to be able to go further. Another also thing that we are checking for the moment is the possibility to have a platform which will finance the end users. That's very important. We are in Africa, we have challenge of purchasing power, also in Rwanda, so it's very important to make our product more affordable. We had the support of the government to finance the end user customers, but we need also to find other creative solutions which can really make the difference, and we are working on that.
Interesting. You speak about financing. Probably look at asset financing in the long term, or even end-use financing here. You operate both in urban and rural areas in Rwanda here, and I want to check with you on how you deal with the affordability of these solar panels or heaters that you are creating in these spaces. How do you navigate through affordability and the last mile delivery? Last time calls, like you said, end user financing, but how about the customer end delivery? Of course, you here in Kigali and the customer calls and says, hey, look here, I have my business just operated, we don't have time for electricity, could you give us a solar panel? Those last minute calls, how do you navigate through those, and also the financing modules that you were speaking about previously, but also not forgetting the underserved populations in these spaces. How do you navigate through it?
Look, we have been in this business since more than 10 years, and we have seen how the market has evaluated. I mentioned the fact that there is this program with the government which really helped regarding the affordability. It's really reduced the price for the end user customer, either solar water heater or solar home system or solar photovoltaic system. And we have also some partner to see how we can also finance the end user customers. The partner can finance and make the payment by installment. Beside that also, when we see that the project is very important, very key, and we need to develop, we make a kind of research development specific with pilot project, and we ask for specific grant, and with the grant we really find a way we can do a proper business model. We can also make the product more affordable, accessible for a low-income population, and for that we need some specific grant to be able to do that. So we tap also on the possibility, we apply for grant also for very specific project linked to low-income population.
From lighting up off-grid villages to powering health clinics with solar energy, Munyax Eco is proving that clean tech isn't just about sustainability, it's about possibility.